main objective of Daumannhänel Shock Destroy is to comply with the requirements of industrial safety at the construction site. All banners and signs installed at the territory of Ust-Yavinsky mine remind about the proper behavior at the construction site, security measures to follow, as well as personal protective equipment to possess. Nobody, even a simple observer not related to the construction site, will be allowed without being briefed beforehand. We have standard and technical documentation, which is a framework for workplace instructions, job descriptions, compliance with the requirements of safety rules. After the initial training held by Occupational Safety and Health Division, each new employee of the company meets the head of his department to be briefed for workplace instructions. After that, he is assigned for an internship lasting from 3 days to 2 weeks. When the internship is over, the commission checks knowledge and builds a report. Afterwards, the person is allowed to work independently. Incoming employee gets all personal protective equipment. This includes helmet, goggles, earplugs, special clothing, shoes, shockproof footwear. Before descending into bottom hole, mine workers get self-rescuers and lamps. Employees also follow certain rules when receiving self-rescuers.
Вы должны его проверить визуально. Посмотреть корпус. Если нет где-то вмятины, повреждения. Вмятины допускаются смотрители не глубже 1,5 см, 15 мм.
You should check it visually. Examine the case to exclude dents and scratches. Self-rescuers should not be dented deeper than 0.5 centimeter, 15 millimeters. One should check visually if the self-rescuer cover is leak tight. Once the employee receives a self-rescuer, he should sign the log. Then you go to the construction site. You should describe emergency response plan. In case of fire at the shaft, your actions are as follows. You should take the self-rescuer, put it on the neck, press a self-rescuer with the left hand, press the left belt with right hand and throw out the cover. Then the trigger comes into action. Take a breath with the chest. Take the bell mouth, press the hose, put the mouthpiece in your mouth, clamp it between the teeth and gums, insert a nose clip and breathe. At the same time, the bag shall be completely loosened, swelled out.
И выдыхаете. При этом мешок должен полностью быть распущен, надуться.
At the time of operation, the self-rescuer tends to heat up because it produces oxygen. It is prohibited to run, talk, and work when it is on. The maximum permitted speed is 4 kilometers per hour. When walking, self-rescuer is designed for 1 hour of operation, 5 hours at a standstill. After use, it is no longer subject to exploitation. In case of emergency at the construction site of Ust-Yavinsky mine, means of communication such as radio, telephone are available at Control Engineer Office. Emergency response plans are developed, special lists of alerts exist. Sling operators and storekeepers have their own signals, which have been approved according to the rules of industrial safety whilst work at hoisting machines. Pick up and down. That's it. There is also a specially designed plan for blasting operations, which are the most dangerous at this stage of construction and require increased responsibility. Whilst blasting operations, the territory of the pithead tunneling system is cordoned off and staked out. Local information boards are installed to indicate a specified time of the explosion. And that's it. At the bottom hole, there is only contractor's team with whom we have an agreement for drilling and blasting operations. Explosive experts prime the blast holes drilled at the bottom. Then everybody without exception goes to a safe place. The explosive expert stays in the control room during the explosion. The pulse is generated from there and then goes to the explosion. Afterwards, in the bottom hole, the ventilation turns on to work at least half an hour.
После продувки, забоя, берет газоанализатор, садится в бадью, и начинается спуск его.
Explosive expert takes gas analyzer after blowing down the bottom hole, gets into the bucket and begins descent. As soon as the device sends a signal, the descent stops and the elevation begins. Then blowing starts again and lasts for half an hour, and then the descent restarts. This may last at least for 2 hours before the blast bottom hole will be accepted after explosion.
И снова потом начинается спуск. Я говорю, это может длиться вот как 2 часа, не меньше, вот это самое, перед тем, как примут забой после взрыва.
Having completed airing of the bottom hole, the explosive expert descends back to check blasted holes to exclude failures. If during the inspection unexploded detonators are found, they should be elevated and sent for utilization to the storage of explosives located in the city of Alexandrovsk. Explosives are not stored at the territory of the mine. Daumannhanyu Shock Destroy places an order for the amount of explosives necessary for the explosion prior to drilling and blasting operations. Daumannhanyu Shock Destroy security policy is based on the responsibility of each employee and the implementation of new developments in the field of occupational health and safety.